Because I am deaf and isolated, Professor Dugin, I'm accustomed to having long conversations with people who I admire, who know nothing about me and have never heard these conversations. I, I don't expect that you'll hear this one. But I've taken it upon myself to ask if you have a moment of time for a student. I I admire your work. I appreciate the opportunity to request permission to study some of your work from all parties concerned. I have done nothing to earn the distinction of your time or your attention, and appreciate that fact and would gladly bow out if you have no time to attend to a student's concerns. I can't expect to distinguish myself in any way by this discussion. I have noted with great indignity the discourtesies that you've endured from the current generation of American intellectuals. I'm familiar with their ego problems. I regret that. And I'm familiar with the discourtesies that my country's leadership has endeavored to justify towards your country as well. I will say very little about the prisoner's dilemma that enveloped my situation with respect to yours, except to identify it for what it is. It's a crowd that I've long tried to defend the Kennedys from, and their paradoxical family. It is a prisoner's dilemma. But to go into a longer description of their activities would be to invite the way that they depicted me. And since I try not to concern myself with that when they're not actively giving me the 10th degree about it, I don't think it would be helpful. And my reason for abstaining from studying you has nothing to do with any knowledge of your work. I'm predisposed to be very interested because I've agreed with quite a few things I've heard. I've disagreed with a few things I've heard, and I wonder about what you perceive of the West. I certainly am a liberal and I'm not a totalitarian. But I assume that when you talk about Russia, you're talking about Russian nativism. In America, nativism is a problem because they don't like outsiders. They construct realities that don't match the truth of the situation. But beyond that, I don't have any real starting points because I've abstained from studying your work. The reasons I've abstained from studying your work is because of the prisoner's dilemma that the situation has presented. I don't like the war. I don't think it was necessary. I don't like what has happened to personal affairs. And as a result, I can't endeavor to um, engage with a situation that seems hopelessly painful. So be assured I'm not withholding anything. I don't have anything I can say to ameliorate what has happened. But uh, I didn't even, I don't pry into people's personal affairs. I knew nothing of your marriage. I didn't know Circe Kennedy existed when she passed away. I don't believe that anything other than the same agency manufactured both tragedies. That's not what the evidence tells me. So um, I can't belabor the point because it's not my place to look into it. I don't have anybody's confidence. So my interest is in reading what you have to say and watching some of your tapes. I don't want to turn it into anything that's purient with theories of spying or attempts to sabotage the discussion. All of that would be phony baloney on my part. I don't know anything about it. I'm more than anything apologetic that um, you haven't been treated in accordance with academic techniques. I'm very sorry when I see that happen. So I have no words to offer about the antagonism that exists between our two countries. It doesn't motivate my desire to read your discussions one bit. It's not to further conflict in any way. So if you see me watching your videos because you have cyber patrols over people of interest, be assured that it's sincere interest in what you have to say. That's all. I don't have anything else to say or add or anything else to offer. But if you have any question, you feel free to direct it to my attention.